So many spoilers. Invasion of Ravnica's 5 mana for a 4 counter siege battle. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent an opponent controls that isn't exactly 2 colors. Anti-guildless tech, big fan and super flavorful. When it's defeated, it transforms into Guild Pack Paragon, a 5/5 artifact creature construct. Whenever you cast a spell that's exactly 2 colors, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a card that's exactly 2 colors from among them and put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Probably the best commander for this is General Ferris Rockerick, right? I'm trying to think of guild-based commanders that lack card advantage, and this one immediately came to mind, and Boros especially. This could do very well there. Huge addition for that strategy in my opinion, really bringing the angsty Niv Mizzet Reborn vibes here. Great invasion, love that it has no color identity. This is solid stuff. Knight Errant of Eos is 4 of anything and 1 white for a 4/4 human knight with Convoke. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creature cards with mana value X or less from among them, where X is the number of creatures that convoke the Knight Errant. Put the revealed cards into your hand, then shuffle. More Convoke goodness for Kozil, let's go. I don't know about all of you, but I'm loving this card advantage that white keeps getting. We're all so used to white having basically nothing fun to do, but the color actually being able to refuel in an appropriate way is a solid step in making sure it stays viable in the competitive landscape. The fact that it's another knight didn't go unnoticed either, dropping as a big body in the knight aggro deck, and quickly thanks to Convoke, this could see some legitimate constructed play at the top of the curve as a 1 or 2 of even. It's a great card. Chrome Host Seed Shark is 3 mana for a 2/4 Phyrexian Shark with flying. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, incubate X, where X is that spell's mana value. Okay, this is definitely a nod to Shark Typhoon, and that is beyond funny. What a great Phyrexian spin on it, and it's also not even bad. Quite cheap, has a lot of toughness to survive burn, and no additional cost for the incubate to trigger over and over again. It's like a slower Monastery Mentor, which is also in the set now, by the way. Now sure, the incubator tokens aren't creatures straight away, but that dodges board wipes, and you can always save the transformation for your opponent's end step, then untap and smash in. So in some ways, oiled up robot Shark Tornado is just as good as Monastery Mentor, sort of, sometimes. Okay, maybe not, but it's still pretty good. Interdisciplinary Mascot is 6 of anything and 2 blue for a 5/5 elemental fractal with Convoke and Ward 3. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. That is the most expensive impulse I've ever seen. That being said, I'm glad it's a jumpstart card because having this in draft boosters would be tough. Ward 3 is hard to get by, and Convoke will make it easier to cast. Really chunky elemental at a 5/5 as well. It's a neat card for jumpstart. Grafted Butcher is 2 mana for a 2/2 Phyrexian Samurai. When it enters the battlefield, Phyrexians you control gain menace until end of turn. Other Phyrexians you control get +1/+1. You can also pay 4 mana and sacrifice an artifact or creature to return Grafted Butcher from your graveyard to the battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery? Wait, what? Grafted Butcher is heckin' broken as a Phyrexian Lord. It gives the whole Phyrexian board +1/+1. It gives them all menace when it enters the battlefield. And you can bring it back over and over again, and it's a Samurai? Look at that sword. Oh, I love this card for so many different reasons. Amazing Phyrexian Lord, so perfect. 5 out of 7 at the very least. Strong commander card right here. Hoarding Broodlord is 5 of anything and 3 black for a 7/6 dragon with Convoke and flying. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for a card, exile it face down, then shuffle. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may play it. Spells you cast from exile have Convoke. Spells you cast from exile have Convoke? Well, Prosper gets even more outrageous this year. I feel like I mention this Tiefling Warlock all the time. They keep printing amazing cards in Prosper colors. That deck is going to be packed with value no matter how you build it at this rate. Ortheon, Hero of Lava Brink is 3 of anything and 1 red for a 3/3 legendary creature human soldier. You can pay 2 mana and tap it to create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control. It gains haste, sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, activate only as a sorcery. You can also pay 6 of anything and 3 red and tap Ortheon to create 5 tokens that are copies of another target creature you control. They gain haste, sacrifice them at the beginning of the next end step, activate only as a sorcery. Yo, this legend from Jumpstart is the new Kiki Jiki. Notice the card lets you create copies of any creature you control. It doesn't say non-legendary. So you just need a way to neutralize the legend roll, maybe some cheeky enter and leave the battlefield abilities, and you're off to the races. But even without legendary brokenness, there are tons of great cards to copy. Solemn Simulacrum, Dockside Extortionist. If you have $11 billion, there's Terror of the Peaks, that'd be hilarious. Mirror Battlesphere, Scourge of Valkis. Yeah, there are plenty of cards Ortheon can use to mess everything up. Really cool card out of Jumpstart here. Ramosian Greatsword is 4 of anything and 1 red for an artifact equipment with Convoke and equip cost of 2. Equipped creature gets +3/+1 and has trample. First off, Ramosian, yeah, that's Mercadian, which is awesome. Second, this sword is fat with a PH. Convoke helps alleviate the cost a little bit, but it's still chunky as heck. I think I'm also a bit spoiled from 4 Mirrodin, and I want every equipment to come with a 2/2 Rebel attached to it. Phyrexia really spoiled me. It's unbelievable. Voldaren Thrillseeker is 3 mana for a 1/1 Vampire Warrior with backup 2. You can pay 1 and sacrifice this creature and it deals damage equal to its power to any target. What an awesome way to use backup. You either have a 3/3 for 3 that can sack itself to bolt something whenever you need, or you can grant that power to something bigger or more expendable and it can throw itself at the opponent. Even better, make a deck where you cast Yargle and Multani, then use the Thrillseeker, then watch Yargle and Multani throw themselves at the opponent, killing them all in one go, 20 life down the drain. Ha, magic is the best. Surrak and Goreclaw, amazing team up, just perfect. It's 4 of anything and 2 green for a 6/5 legendary creature human bear with trample. Other creatures you control have trample. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. Now, this is a love story better than Twilight. Surrak used to punch bears and not anymore. Now he teams up with bears to punch Phyrexians. Beyond funny. Human bear, awesome creature type. Card's hilarious and very aggressive. 6 mana for a 6/5 with trample that blankets the board with trample is aggressive, and it buffs up and gives haste to all non-token creatures entering the battlefield under your control. This is big green aggression at its finest. You get a deck with this, Concordant Crossroads, Ovenwald Oddity, then just big green dudes trample over everyone all the time. This would be a super fun deck to build. Leave me a comment if you'd be interested in a deck like this. Baral and Kari Zev is 1 of anything, 1 blue and 1 red for a 2/4 legendary creature human with first strike and menace. Whenever you cast your first instant or sorcery spell each turn, you may cast a spell with lesser mana value that shares a card type with it from your hand without paying its mana cost. If you don't create First Mate Ragavan, a legendary 2/1 red monkey pirate creature token, it gains haste until end of turn. This is probably one of the best designs we've seen. The card basically gives your instants and sorceries expertise. We call back to Kaladesh there. And then the best part, if you don't have anything to cast, you get Ragavan. There's no downside. You get spells for free in blue-red, which is the dream, or you get a monkey pirate. There's no losing. The card's legit perfect. And it hits your suspend spells too. Oh, Commander, here I come. Invasion of Tolvada is 3 of anything, 1 white and 1 black for a 5 counter siege battle. When the invasion enters the battlefield, return target non-battle permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. When it's defeated, it transforms into an enchantment called the Broken Sky. Creature tokens you control get +1/+0 and have lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. This is basically Obsidat's Aid, but way just more. Eventually transforming into a monster of an enchantment, giving your tokens added board pressure, as well as making more for either more attacks or sacrifice shenanigans. This is white-black after all. You could probably justify this in any number of Orzhov commander decks. Joyful Storm Sculptors, 3 of anything, 1 blue and 1 red for a 2/3 human shaman. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 blue and red elemental creature tokens. Whenever you cast a spell that has Convoke, the Storm Sculptor deals 1 damage to each opponent and each battle they protect. Khasla is happy once again. I'm glad we're getting Convoke in the main set as well as the commander product, by the way. It'll give plenty of options to build out the Khasla deck. This human shaman is cute, but what's most important? Look at those little elementals. I pray the tokens look like that. They're so outrageously adorable. I can't even handle it. Oh, they're so cute. Rankle and Torbran is 1 of anything, 2 black and 2 red for a 3/4 legendary creature fairy dwarf with flying, first strike, and haste. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player or a battle, choose any number. Each player creates a treasure token, or each player sacrifices a creature, or if a source would deal damage to a player or battle this turn, it deals that much damage +2 instead. Yo, this card is so sick for so many reasons. First, fairy dwarf, excellent. Second, on the modal ability, that last one that increases damage by 2, Rankle and Torbran has first strike, so it's going to get that first strike damage and then trigger the +2 damage, then everything else can come in and deal more damage. What a clever design this is. As many have already yelled at me about, this is a great card for Agnes specifically, perfect inclusion for that deck if you don't run it as its own commander in some kind of interesting low to the ground deck, or maybe a bunch of pingers for after the trigger goes off. Weird card to be honest, but I'm kind of into it, and I hope you stay tuned for more spoiler coverage because they're coming so fast. Thanks for watching.